Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Zoe Valentine Season 1 Rundown Review. So this is a show I checked out back in 2019 when it aired. Before I get into any more of that, let me give you the Crown Lake update. So, unsurprising to me, I assumed that Crown Lake was canceled because of the you-know-what virus, because a lot of the Brat shows were affected. But no, apparently the first episode of season 3 aired April the 12th. I had no idea. See, I haven't watched any of this Brat stuff in a while. The only two shows I watch is Zoe Valentine and Crown Lake. Charmers, I'm gonna check out because the trailer looked kind of spooky, but I doubt they will really go there because this is like a kid show type stuff. Now the other Brat shows I just can't get into because they're just kid shows. You know what I'm saying? They're kid teen shows. Like Chicken Girls, can't get into that, but it's been on for 9 seasons. But like when I saw the trailer for Crown Lake years ago, I'm like, hey, this seems kind of like spooky and everything. And like, what's this mystery all about? So I checked it out. It's an okay show and everything. It's ambitious like all these other shows are. But to give you the update on this, and of course, the big and my spoiler thing on there lets you know I am going to spoil stuff for you, so don't get all like upset. The third season takes place in the year 2022. That's right, it no longer takes place in the 90s, which means everybody from season 1 and 2 is off the show now. And it's a brand new cast. Now, they do bring up events that happen at the end of season 2, like one girl dies in the fire and one girl survives and stuff. So I'm very shocked and surprised by that. I can't believe they went there. So it's a bummer because I wanted the original cast back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get used to like a new cast and stuff like that. And it's like, that's not fair. But anyway, back to Zoe. So, Zoe Valentine. I actually never heard of this show. See, the only reason why I watched this show is because of the main actress, Anna Cartcaff, and because she was in Odd Squad back in the day in season 2. And so I was curious to see what she's been up to ever since Odd Squad, because in season 3 she's not in it because they have a new cast every season. And so like, yeah, I know Odd Squad's a kid show on PBS, but hey, look, it's hilarious. Right? A bunch of kids who are like secret agent slash spies. It's hilarious. But I can't get into the season 3. And so I wanted to know what she was up to. I know she did Descendants. I know she did the something All the Boys franchise. There's like 3 of those movies. I think the first one was All the Boys I Loved Before. And I don't know what the other titles are, the other ones. And so then I saw she was in something called Zoe Valentine, where she was the lead. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Let me check this out. What is this? And it's on Bratz TV. I'm like, Bratz? So they talking about that toy line from back in the day of those ghetto girls? Like, what are they talking about? Nope. Apparently, Bratz TV is like a section of YouTube that's dedicated to like actually teen comedies and dramas, and I guess mysteries and scary stuff. And because this was back when YouTube TV started doing their like TV series. The adult mature stuff you had to pay for, but then this was free. I'm like, oh well, it's free, and why not? And stuff. I want to see what she's up to and stuff. And plus, I wanted to see if she could do drama because I've only seen her in Odd Squad. To my surprise, Brighton Sabino, I think that's how you say her name, Sabino. She is also in this. I was like, no way! Like the crazy girl from The Walking Dead that died. Like I get to finally see something else, and so I started watching it. And so I have to say, this is a really interesting show. It's a nice little like teen drama and everything. It's not perfect by no means. You know, every show has their flaws, and one of the main flaws of this show is that one episode, it's only 7 episodes. That's not long enough. And each episode is about 11 minutes. That's not a long time to tell a good cohesive story. And you can tell because when you watch this show, especially in the first season, it loses itself in transaction and stuff. It doesn't necessarily keep to the narrative and the story that it wants to tell because it's trying to go like, it's trying to be like that of a teen drama. You can tell that the writers wanted to go there and get a bit edgy with some of their storylines, but they had to be pulled back because this is a teen drama and little kids are supposed to watch this from like 12 and up. So it's ambitious. I do think it would have been a lot more interesting and a whole lot better if it was on another streaming site or on TV where it can get a proper, like, longer episode, probably like, in 10, 13 to 20 episodes and be anywhere from between 20 to like 40 minutes long. Then they'll be able to flesh stuff out a whole lot better instead of trying to wrap up storylines very quickly because, this show, they kind of rush a couple of like storylines and they don't let things have time to breathe because they can't because they only got like 11 minutes. So they do what they do. But oddly enough, when you watch those 11 minutes, you feel somewhat full and satisfied. Like you don't feel fully full, but you do feel satisfied to a certain degree. And so I think it would have been more of a hard hitting drama if it was on like another channel or another streaming site. And if it wasn't directed solely to that of like a younger audience and everything, but I get why they had and they couldn't really go as far as they wanted to go and stuff. Cause like, okay, you start the first episode off of her being a freshman in the first day of school in high school, and then with 7 episodes and everything, you don't realize something until they tell you this. Several months have passed and I'm just like, when? Because it feels like every episode is like per day, but it's not, because towards the end they're at some type of they're in the spring dance, and I'm just like, when did it go from the fall to spring? In just 7 episodes. So there is a pacing problem to where you don't feel fully satisfied because there's only 7 episodes. Now, this show came back out in 2019, and both seasons, because it only lasted for 2, they were came out both in 2019, several months apart. And as people was anticipating a third, sadly, the virus got a hold of it and decided, okay, well, we're just going to end production. And that sucks, because I really want to see where the rest of the story is going to go. And because, when I say they do want to go there, but they go there to a small extent, you recognize a lot of these storylines that can hit you and stuff like that. Like you've either seen this happen to other people or it's happened to you and your family and stuff. And it's some really meaningful type stuff. And so I do think it's a really good series. I just think it would have been a whole lot better if they were fully allowed to like boom, 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 go there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, this show, it deals with a young girl. She's like a freshman. So that's probably in between 14, 15 years old. Her name is Zoe Valentine. And she narrates the beginning and end of every episode. And the actress does an amazing job. Like, I am so proud of her and everything. I get proud of so many of the former Odd Squad actors and actresses because, after leaving those shows, they really let you know they really have what it takes to hold their own in Hollywood. Only problem is Hollywood doesn't always want to like knock on their door because they are that of like younger stars. A lot of them now from the first season are adults and you rarely see them in everything. And so that kind of sucks. And so like, yeah, it's because Odd Squad is a kid's show. people look down on that, kind of like how they would look down on, like, say, Power Rangers or a Disney show. Now, when it comes to the Brat shows, a lot of these stars are former PBS kid stars, Disney, and Nickelodeon. So you'll recognize some of these people. Some of these people you probably won't. And of course, because they are former Disney and Nickelodeon, sometimes the acting is there, sometimes it is not. And so, like, and when it's not, it could really take you out of it and stuff. And so, like, the thing about Zoe is that she's a awkward, shy, very intelligent girl who loves magic. And she's coping with the loss of her older sister, who's about 2 years older than her. Her sister contracted a very, very deadly illness, cancer, and sadly died from it. And so Zoe is trying to navigate through life in high school after the loss of her sister. More so through high school because she is new at high school, and a lot of people knew her sister Chloe in high school. So of course all eyes are on her. And she doesn't like that because she's shy and awkward. The premise is that she worries that people are going to treat her differently because, she is the sister of a dead girl, and that people are going to expect more from her because of who Chloe was. Chloe was a very popular girl with tons of friends, a former ex-boyfriend, and a friend, well, an enemy and everything. And so she worries that, like, because she's basically like a rock star, right? However, when I say that this show loses itself in transition, you don't really feel that in the series. Like, only in the first episode, probably, all eyes on her. Everybody's looking at her. Some people are trying to, like, talk to her, but they're calling her by the wrong name. And so you only really get that in the first episode, and every other episode after that, she's just navigating through life, being herself, and not having to worry. The kids aren't really like harassing her or bugging her or nothing like that, except for the girl who doesn't like her and stuff. And so I thought to myself, it's supposed to be on the premise of, everybody constantly reminding her of her. Well, people do remind her of her sister a lot, but but it's like, but I was expecting more of more of her sister past good experiences and bad were gonna affect Zoe, and they really don't. So it's mostly just like, Zoe just going through her own stuff and everything and trying to explore life and trying to, like, evolve, and that's great. But I was very confused because I'm thinking, people were supposed to, like, judge her based on that of her sister, but they really don't. And boy, Zoe is really going through, like, a lot of stuff, especially in the first episode. Now, one thing in the first episode was kind of weird. She's walking home from school and she keeps looking back, and we can see somebody following her. And she's looking back and she has a worried look on her face. And of course, who wouldn't be worried somebody's, like, walking behind you and stuff. But the music started to intensify, like this is going to be like a horror type thing. So she's getting scared and more worried. Then she goes around the corner, looks back, and he's completely gone. And I'm just like, well, what was the point of this thing? Well, we will later find out. Now, she does have a best friend by the name of Brody. He's also a nerd and very awkward. Sometimes the writing and the dialogue in this show is laughable. Because it's kind of a little bit extreme nerdy awkwardness and everything instead of subtle and everything. But the dialogue, even though it's laughable, it can be cute. And I can see young people talk like this, especially people who are very awkward. But they kind of dial the awkwardness up, like, to an extreme level, which can be laughable at times, but it's cute at the same time. So Brody is her best friend. And of course, because he's her best friend, he has somewhat of a crush on her, but it's not really shown. You just get the feeling, you know what I'm saying? So Zoe's like really into like magic tricks and everything. And the reason why she's into magic tricks is because her sister used to love seeing her do magic. And see, her sister, when somebody would be sick in the hospital, her sister was like a little girl, she would like tell them jokes. So Zoe's thinking like, I found I'll do magic, and it made her sister happy. So she does it. But of course, she doesn't want to do it alone. She wants her friend Brody to do it with her. So he does it with her. But he tells her, you're not allowed to share the magic secrets with anybody. And she's like, okay, fine. So me and you just will never make friends with nobody else. And that's her rule. I'm just like, that's a little extreme. But Anna says it in a way that comes off so cavalier that it's just too cute. And so so they don't have any other friends other than themselves. And then of course when they get into high school, things start to change. So Zoe, she sees, oh, by the way, so Brody later on in the first season, he confesses to her that magic's just not his thing. The only reason why he did it is because she likes it, and of course because he likes her. But she doesn't really pay attention to him in that kind of way. So Zoe, she sees this guy at school. He's a football player. He is the ex-boyfriend to that of her sister Chloe. His name is Jacob. And she starts off by saying Jacob has never paid attention to me. He's never talked to me a day in his life. And she tries to like wave and talk to him, but he just walks off with his friends and doesn't even pay attention to her. But then all of a sudden he just starts talking to her. And because like one day, cause see, her and her mom are going through some problems, and cause her and her mom don't really get along that well. Her mom's really mean. Her dad's laid back and cool, but her mom is mean. So anyway, she wants to go to Brody's place, but mom's like, okay, be back by 9. She thinks that's unfair, and so as she's walking, this is where the first episode is just so off for me because you see Jacob and he's in his car and he's seeing Zoe and he's all like, hey, you want to hang out and everything? She's like, I can't. I have to get to my friend's place. Like, oh, no, come on. It'll be fine. Just a couple of like an hour or something like that. And then she has a worried look on her face. And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, uh-oh. He's one of those type of like keep it in the family type thing. He's probably gonna be the creepy like teen boy who's gonna be trying to pounce on her and stuff. So she gets in the car and I'm like, oh God, I can see where this is going. But then I forgot, oh wait, this is a kid teen drama. So they didn't go there. Instead, he takes her just to a party. And the kids, and like I said before, like they're a little ambitious. So, the kids, they are drinking at the party. Some other kids look like they're high, but you see no smoke and everything. So it's like they want to go there, but they can't. And so basically, he's a good guy. He's not creepy at all. And he doesn't really, but it does seem like he's kind of flirting with her at times, especially when they're at school. So they're hanging out at the party, and while they're at the party, they see Allison. Allison is the mean girl and everything. Allison hates Cleo because Jacob used to date Allison, but then he dumped her for Cleo. And so because of that, she automatically hates Zoe. So she is the mean girl. Now this is the character that Brighton plays. I just can't take her serious as a mean girl. She just seems too sweet and innocent and everything. And it's just like, I'm thinking of her still as that Walking Dead character girl who was innocent until she went crazy in the head and started liking zombies and stuff. And I just can't see her as a mean girl. And because the dialogue they give her, some of it's mean, but she's just so sweet and innocent, and it's coming off as sweet and innocent. Now, if she was to say it and star in it now with her new transformation and everything, and like, I could see her now looking like a queen bee and everything and stuff. I just couldn't see it back in the day because she just looked so sweet and innocent and everything. And so it was just hard for me to take her serious as like a mean girl. And when she spoke, her voice is sweet and innocent and stuff. And so But the way she looks now, yeah, I can totally see her playing like a mean girl and everything. So like she doesn't want like, Zoe at the party and everything, thinks what is this nerd doing here and stuff. So anyway, there are these two girls who are also at the school who are also at the party. And they the ones who mispronounced her name, calling her Joey with a J instead of Zoe with a Z. And so, but they're nice girls and everything. They were friends of Chloe. And so it's kind of weird because she said that, her sister friends are her sister friends and she doesn't want like the attention and all this, but then she ends up making friends with all her sister friends. So I think with more episodes that would have been better fleshed out and everything, instead of it just happening within just a couple of minutes and stuff of her saying that. And so while they're at the party, they're there with a guy named Boots. Boots is like a jock who's like throws all these parties. He's kind of like the boys type person. He picks on people, but it's more in a hey we're bros kind of way, you know what I'm saying? But he is annoying and offensive, but everybody just plays it off. One of the people he's offensive to is Milo. Milo is just a regular kid who's on the football team, but Boots, for some bizarre reason, thinks he's gay and picks on him throughout the entire first season. And he picks on him hard for the whole being gay thing. Like, he'll be like, oh, you hanging out with your male teacher? Are y'all lovers now? Are y'all gonna kiss? Like, he's just one of those jerk type people, you know? But then he's always goofing around and laughing and stuff like that. But you never see him, like you see him verbally bullying Milo, but you never see him physically bullying him. And he always has like a huge smile on his face. So you don't really take what he says seriously. And so, Zoe asked him, like, why do you let him talk to you like that, and everything, and stuff like that, just because you're gay, he shouldn't be picking on you. And Milo's like, oh, but I'm not gay. And she's like, well, then why don't you tell him that? And he's all like, because I don't care, because, there's nothing wrong with being gay, and I could care less if he picks on me. See, if this was back in the 90s, this would have been a huge problem. Or even 20 or 10 years ago, because, if you really wanted to, like, bully somebody or make them like the out crowd, you would accuse them as being gay. And then the whole school would not like you because back then it was a touchier subject than what it is now. It's more accepting now and stuff. And so like this starts them two start to develop feelings for each other, Milo and like, Zoe, and they start to like crush on each other and stuff. And so at the party, something interesting happened. They play Spin the Bottle, which a lot of people have played. I've never played. I don't want to play. And so, like, they're spinning around, and Boots, he's like kissing on like so many of the girls and everything. And so then, I think Milo's turn, and then so like, of course, Boots is like picking on him and stuff. And so then it's Jacob's turn, the dude who invited like Zoe, what's the name's former boyfriend. And so he spins it and it like goes on what's her name? Allison. He doesn't want to kiss her and everything. And they're all like, what are you mad at her? Like, y'all used to date. So then they kiss. But she gives him tongue, and he doesn't like that. And then so he spins again, and it ends up on Milo. And then this is what's interesting, because so like when it lands on Allison, they're all like, you can't spin twice. So he has to kiss her. When it lands on Milo, he does not kiss Milo. And they're like, okay, you get a second turn. So then it lands on Zoe. And as he looks at her, and he's going closer to kiss her, she was going in for it, but then she gets freaked out. And it's the cutest moment ever. She gets so freaked out. She's like, I can't do this. And then she just takes off and she runs. And she leaves the party. Oh boy. So there is a bit of a problem with her being at the party. See, she was supposed to remember go to Brody's place. She never went. He is now pissed at this. And when he finds out she was at the party, he's even more pissed. And he's all like, why are you hanging out with these like snotty people? And you're not supposed to make friends with nobody else. And And then so later on, you see Brody, no, not Brody, but Jacob like flirt with that Zoe. And she's kind of liking that a little bit. And it's kind of like, dude, so you wouldn't kiss your sister's ex-boyfriend, but you can flirt with him and everything just a little bit. So Allison sees that. She ain't happy. And so to get Jacob back and to piss Zoe off, she sees Brody and just like kisses him at school. And he's just kind of like, whoa, what the world just happened? No, it wasn't at school. It was at a party because later on they went to a party. That's right. She finally convinced Brody to go to like a party. He didn't really want to go. Allison was kind of like, what are you doing here and everything, blah, blah. So then when she tries to get back at, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So when she tries to get back at both Zoe and Jacob, she kisses Brody. And everybody's just like shocked and like surprised and they can't like believe it. You know what I'm saying? And neither can Brody. He's just like, oh my God. So he's gushing the next day at school about this, right? He's all like, one of the hottest girls at school kissed me and everything. And she's like so popular and everything. So he's falling for her. But she's just using him. And so one interesting thing that Zoe does is that she's very nosy. And so when she's going around the house, she sees her mom talking to somebody on the phone. But then for some reason, she decides she's going to find her sister's old cell phone that just so happens to still be on and everything. And out of doubt, she took her mom's cell phone and she sees that somebody contacted her 2 weeks ago. It's some boy. So she contacts him and it's like a dramatic moment. She's all like, were you the one following me from school that one day? And then it ends. And then we see her the next day hanging out with him. He's at a hospital, a cancer hospital. He has cancer. So she talks to him asking, how do you know, like my sister, of course, he's all like, we was in like, the same hospital together when she was going through cancer and we went bald together. So as he's talking, she picks up that he had feelings for her. She's all like, did you love my sister and everything? And he's like, yeah. And then she's all like, well, did she love you back? And then he's like, yeah, she did, indicating they dated. So Zoe's like really upset about this because she's finding out things about her sister she never knew. So when she was at that party that one time with Brody, no, not Brody, with Brody, but she was talking to Jacob. She was telling Jacob, like, did you know my sister cheated on you? I'm thinking like, dude, you ratted out your dead sister. And so Jacob's kind of like, she knew. And he confesses something to her. Something he's never told nobody else other than just like that of Chloe. He confesses he's gay. And she's shocked and surprised because he dated two girls. Well, he explained that he bearded them. But he said Chloe protected him. See, when he was with Allison was getting, too lovey-dovey with him. And of course, he doesn't like girls. And he didn't really want to use her. Plus, Allison is kind of getting she was probably getting a little bit more handsy than what he wanted. So he was kind of afraid she might try to go there with him. So it was Chloe's idea to dump her and date her. And then they can just like, he can beard her and stuff like that. And so that's what he did. And so she dated the other dude when nobody knew. And he tells her that, he doesn't want people to know because it's his business and he doesn't know how people will react. And she's just kind of like, well, why in the world are you friends with Boots? Like, it has to hurt your feelings how he makes fun of Milo and everything. And Milo's not even like gay. And he's all like, yeah, but it's just Boots being Boots. And he's just like joking around. And that's one reason why he won't come out and tell, because, Boots will really like change and everything towards him. And so she keeps it a secret. And they become better friends because of that. And so her initial thing of not wanting to be friends with her sister friends is now starting to happen. She's now friends with him. She's now friends with those two girls. And she's starting to become popular, but popular really a little bit because of that of her sister and that of just her own self, but not so much that of her own self because people don't really know too much about her. She doesn't show them like her magic tricks and stuff like that, and she doesn't talk about like nerdy stuff. So it's gonna like take a while. This is why I feel like it would have been better they had more episodes and stuff. So like, I actually even haven't talked about her parents yet. Let me get about talk about them. So her parents are going through some stuff, some really serious stuff. Her dad, like her little brother, because she has a little brother. The little brother, he cries one day because he's kind of like, Chloe's dead because of him, because he took like her some money from the money jar, and that must have killed her. But Zoe lets him know that it's not your fault. She had an illness and all this other stuff. So the brother one day he comes home from school and the dad is there on the couch. And he's all like, "What are you doing home from school?" And he's all like, "Oh, I had an important phone call I had to like take or something like that." He's all like, "Really? This is like the second time this has happened." And so the dad just has a really sad look on his face and everything. We see the dad doing some bills. Things are past due. It's Chloe's medical bills. They are very expensive, and they don't have that much money to like pay for it. And plus, he is now out of work. He's been lying to the whole family, getting ready for work, putting on a suit. And as soon as everybody leaves the house, he pretends like he's about to leave the house, but then he just goes and sleeps and lays on the couch. And it's really sad to see that, you know what I'm saying? And so his wife, like I said, the mean one, she is taking some private phone calls and everything. And it's kind of like, what's going on? Well, Zoe catches Chloe's cancer doctor leaving the house. And so she starts to get suspicious and starts to ask her mom, why is he over here in the middle of the night and dad's not here? Then, when she is at the hospital visiting that dude who has cancer, 'cause now they're friends and everything, um, she talks to like the doctor dude, and then she gets kind of nosy. Like, this is one thing, she's so nosy. She's snooping around his office, and he wrote down like a dinner date he has to go to at a restaurant, and it has a phone number. She checks her phone, and it's her mom's cell phone number. Now she suspects her mom is cheating. So one day at dinner, she's being very rude to her mom, and she's just kind of like, "So, mom, what did you do last night? Where have you been?" And blah 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 and stuff like that. Well, her dad is there, and she's like, "Oh, I just went to some kind of like fundraiser thing." And he's all like, "Really? You went without me?" And so one day the parents are talking, and she's just kind of like, "We need to talk and everything." And he kind of doesn't want to. And then you see him sleeping on the couch a couple of times. And so it's indicated that she is cheating, but they don't actually go there and show her cheating or say that she is. Because the show kind of want to like keep that like on the kids kind of level. But they are ambitious enough to point you in that direction. Now, I will say in the second season, in the beginning, we hear both parents arguing. So that is a good indication that, yeah, she is cheating and stuff. And that's pretty ambitious for like a kid teen drama, you know what I'm saying? And so I give them props for that. And so now all of a sudden it's spring. And so like, yeah, it's spring. And like it's time for like the dance. And so Jacob, he's asking like Zoe and stuff. And she's just kind of like, "Me? Why me?" and everything. And because she kind of likes Milo. And so, because of course, he's all like, "Well, Boots is going to get on my nerves as to why I don't have a date." And he might start to suspect some stuff. So he's kind of trying to, so now he's trying to use her as a beard, same way he used her sister. And so she's like, "Fine, sure, why, whatever." And then so Milo asks her, and she's all like, I can't, because, Jacob asked me and stuff like that. He's pissed, and he confronts Jacob. He's all like, "Dude, we're friends. We've been friends for so many years, and like for 5 years. And I like Zoe, so why would you try to like get with her and everything?" And so Jacob's all like, I can't say, man, and stuff like that. So Milo's so like super pissed, and he just walks off. And so Jacob does it. He just says out loud he's gay. Of course, nobody else is in the room at that time, in the locker room. So Milo slowly walks back and is like, huh? And he's all like, and he tells him that's who I am. And he said, it feels really good to finally say that. And you gotta really give it up to this dude because kind of like he's been struggling with this his entire life. He's a popular guy. Girls throw themselves at him. He has a man bun. Ugh. I hate man buns. And so like people would never suspect him as being that, and he just wants to be himself and really can't. And he can't be himself because his best friend will pick on him and stuff. But Milo is totally cool with that and everything. Because, like I said, Milo just doesn't care about stuff like that. Boots, on the other hand, let's get into that in the second season. So, anyway. And so, like, so Milo's gonna take like Zoe, and so Zoe we see like flashbacks and everything of the mom, and Cleo like getting ready for like the dance and stuff, and it's a nice sentimental thing. And Zoe's just like spying on them, looking and stuff, and then it goes to present day, and we see, of course, Chloe's room is completely empty, and so. Jacob tells her no matter what, you have to go to this dance. We got something really special and everything. And so when they go there, they bring her on stage because they talk about Chloe and how they're all gonna miss her, and and how she'll never be replaced and stuff. And he brings like Zoe on stage and like we have a special thing for you. It's her family, and they talk about like how great Chloe was. And so as she's giving her speech, all of a sudden Brody comes up there and is like, we have a magic trick for you. Oh, I forgot to mention. So Allison was pissed that nobody will ask her to dance. And so she sees Brody and like, wanna go, nerd? And he's like, yes, I do. Yes, 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 yes. She's like, fine, but don't get no ideas. So that to me was just kind of weird. It's like she's desperate enough to go with Brody and she doesn't like him, but she just doesn't want to go by herself. And so like it's just funny because she knows he'll do anything for her. And so when Zoe is giving her speech, like I said, Brody comes up there, they do like a magic trick, right? And it's cool to see them actually do magic tricks because she says she only knows like the basics and everything. And it's cool seeing her make a card levitate. And and it's a nice little montage of like music, this and that. But then something interesting happens. Some girl picks on like Zoe. She calls her like the nerd or something like that. And then all of a sudden Allison's all like, her name is Zoe. And it's just kind of like, when did you start liking her? So it's kind of like all those months passed, and I guess Allison started to turn nice, but nobody knew that because this show is so rushed. And so this is why I feel like it would have been fleshed out more if the episodes were longer, both in length and time-wise and stuff. Because it's like, when did this change happen? And so, like, then it ends and then it goes into the next season. And, I gotta say, so this show, if you want to watch it, there are three ways you can watch it for free. One is on Tubi. Two is on Roku channel TV. And the third is still that of YouTube. YouTube still has it for free and everything because it's their show. And here's the thing. If you watch it, it's best to watch it on YouTube because a couple of reasons. One, they have individual episodes. And two, they have like a marathon thing, which is like all the episodes combined. So it'll take you like an hour to watch it, which doesn't take long. You can binge it very easily. Another better reason to watch it on that of YouTube and not Roku is because on Roku, the intro changes for some bizarre reason. On Roku, the TV app, the intro is a combination of season 1 and season 2 intro. Season 2 has a bunch of new characters and some of the older ones leave. And then the music changes for some reason in the Roku thing. There's only one episode where the intro is that of season 1. Now, if you go to YouTube, it's the original season 1 intro. And the song is so much better on YouTube. I don't like the song they picked on Roku. I don't know what's on Tubi because I didn't watch it on Tubi. But on YouTube, yeah, it's just like it's a much better song, and it goes with the clips a whole lot better. And so, like I said before, I give it up to this show. It's ambitious, it's like they hit you with some really serious type stuff for a kid teen drama, you know what I'm saying? It just sucks that they couldn't fully go there. It's kind of the same way with Crown Lake. They give you some edgy stuff, but they're not allowed to go there. So they don't really like hit you hard and stuff. They're ambitious, but they have to dial it back because it's for like a younger audience, and that was really blows and everything. And so now in the second season, I'm not gonna let you know what happened in the second season yet, but I will let you know some change ups. Two of the characters, no, four of the characters from season one disappear. The two girls that were friends with Chloe and later on Zoe, they disappear. Milo disappears. And Allison disappeared. I was really pissed about the whole Allison thing because I'm a fan of Brighton and stuff. And so yeah, it just like they just like get written off the show, and then they introduce like new characters and new problems and stuff. Now, um, when it comes to this show, before I wrap this up, it is kind of weird how it started off with her being all like, I don't want to like no new friends. I don't want to like be the center of attention. I wonder how everybody is gonna treat me. Is everybody gonna look at me as that weird girl with a dead sister? And so then it quickly goes from that to her all of a sudden being friends with all of her sister's former friends, knowing more about her sister than she wanted to know, and knowing more about her family than she wanted to know and stuff. And that's just kind of interesting. I wish it could have had more episodes, because then because it would have been fine if she later made friends with her sister friends much later down the season. The first couple of episodes could have been just like all about her and who she is as a person, and how everybody treats her differently because of that of her sister. Then we could slowly see her sister friends start to like, okay, you're pretty cool and everything, and let's be friends. Because it's almost like, because this is so rushed, it just feels like they see Zoe, her last name Valentine, like, okay, we'll just like have your sister live through you. Because that's literally what Jacob did and everything. He tried to beard her like he did Chloe and stuff. And so it would have been so much better if it was just longer episodes. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.